Obviously, the world is watching and have been waiting for China to reopen up. And China is the second largest economy in the world. It's got a big domestic economy. And we've seen how the central government is really focusing on driving economic activities and bring economic growth back to normal, hopefully. It'll be a bit of a time and there'll be a period of settling down in terms of coming off the COVID requirements. But clearly, the business communities are very interested and wanted to get involved as soon as they can. So there's still a bit of a watching period. I think over the next 3 months, people continue to hopefully come back into action again. I know whether it's the private equity funds, whether it's businesses looking to make investments and looking at those critical areas that's going to drive growth over the next 5-10 years, driving that sustainable growth, whether it's in ESG, whether it's in technology, data areas. There's a lot of those activities that's been on hold over the last little while, and people are ready for action. So I'm very positive in terms of the outlook. What's been to a lot of the C-suite CEOs over the last little while, the concern is uncertainties. So with more certainties, with the central government, which is very clear in terms of driving agenda, hopefully there will be policies and regulations coming out to further support economic activity. So I'm very positive about that. And obviously Hong Kong is very much, as an international financial center, is opened up. And you've heard from our chief executive all sorts of policies and initiatives to drive and to continue to welcome activities in Hong Kong.
Yeah, we talked about U.S. regulators and Chinese regulators. They've been scrutinizing the Chinese tech sector for the last 2 years. That's set to be over now. What is the investor appetite for Chinese tech?
I think it's always going to be there. And the reason, and it's not just Chinese tech, it's just tech, period. And obviously China is a big market and it's got many tech giants and investment and lots of innovations, creativities and new unicorns coming out every day. I just think tech is so important for our world, and as we move forward, it's just going to be part of our life. So investing into tech is just part of, it's kind of hard not to think about, if you're going to do an investment, think about tech companies. They've obviously done very well. There's been a bit of an adjustment over the last few years, but I don't think tech is going to change in terms of an appetite for the investors. Now, they might have rebalanced a little bit over the last little while as the tech sector went through a bit of adjustment, but it will always be attractive, I think.